Hi, and welcome to the Yunit podcast. Here we'll be taking a deep dive into the metaverse, exploring the blockchain, NFTs, tokens, and coins, as well as the hottest play-to-earn trends with Web3's most prominent figures.
Hello, everybody. This is Craig Wilson, also known as the Derbied One, and welcome to the Yunit podcast. Today, we've got a very special guest. We've got one of the founders of Cyball, which you may have heard of. You know, I'll let Benji actually just do a quick intro of himself and explain the game just a little bit, give a little bit of a preview to what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Benji. I'm one of the co-founders of Cyball. I'm currently the head of business development and marketing as well. I spend a lot of my time talking to partners and guilds and whatnot. I guess just spreading the Cyball word out a little bit more as well. So Cyball itself is like it's a play-to-earn game. We took a lot of inspiration from Axie Infinity. So it's kind of like a football-themed turn-based card game where you grab these NFTs called Cyblocks. You enter into these Cyball matches, and you basically just need to score the most goals to win these matches. And earn money at the same time as well. So that's kind of like a high level overview of what Cyball is.
That's amazing. You know, like so many Americans, right? We started to get into soccer, or sometimes we call it proper football, during the course of 2020. So I started digging deep into soccer myself. And so I'm so stoked to be doing this because the game looks very interesting. It's definitely something I now actually have access to, and I'm going to begin playing this week. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. But before we dig into that, you know, I was speaking about soccer, or I'm going to call it soccer for this podcast for the moment. But I assume you're a soccer fan, right? Actually, I believe I've read that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Who's your team?
Yeah, in the EPL or
yeah. The EPL and everywhere, actually, and anywhere else you want to mention.
Yeah. So I go for Chelsea in the EPL. If it was between Barca or Real Madrid, I'm probably more of a Real Madrid person. And yeah, you're right. No, like I'm sure you would have read it in our white paper, but a lot of us are huge football or soccer fans. You know, a lot of us are sports fans. We played a lot of FIFA and Football Manager and whatnot, and I feel like that's kind of where we took a lot of inspiration to bring that kind of game to the crypto space as well.
That's cool. That's definitely a smart choice, I think. I mean, it's such a universal game, you know, and it's even picking up here in America. And notoriously, it hasn't been that big of a sport here, but it's definitely been picking up. You see it everywhere. And I'm actually moving very soon to one of the few regions in America that is very much all about soccer. So I'm looking forward to that personally. So, you know, I'm a big believer that in this space, and really honestly in any type of project anyone might want to get involved in, I'm a big believer about understanding the people behind it, right? And then going into the product a little deeper. So I would love to know maybe a bit about your origin story, like, you know, from your childhood. Is there anything that pointed you towards marketing or even business or tech?
Yeah. I guess a little bit about myself as well and my backstory. So I probably got into crypto a couple of years ago personally as a personal investor initially. And then, you know, I got working for a VC over here in Vietnam. And then that's kind of how, you know, we got together and started creating Cyball. But prior to that, I was actually a pharmacist. I was super interested in the crypto space and, you know, what was happening with the tech initially. And I guess like how it was just making waves around the world. And it just made a lot of sense. It just made a lot of sense with like how it connected people. Like the power of like blockchain technology itself to like the transfer of or movement of money or value so quickly and so instantaneously. It was just super convenient to use, and now we're starting to see, you know, like it pretty much take over the world. But yeah, so like with myself, I was a pharmacist and I ran a couple of pharmacy businesses. I guess that kind of business sense is super helpful. With what I'm doing now and talking to a lot of different people from all walks of life, all around the world. So yeah, I guess that kind of translated into what I'm doing now, and yeah, I guess that's been useful having that kind of background. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everything is changing in the world right now. It's a very dramatic time, honestly. World power. I mean, the rise of crypto and NFTs and new economies for the world like play to earn. How do you feel like play to earn is going to affect the future, and what do you think the future for play to earn is?
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like play to earn, like we're definitely super early to play to earn. The like it was only really introduced to the world last year. That the term was coined, by Axie Infinity, and Axie Infinity making waves in the Philippines. So like with all new concepts and all new, I guess, economies and whatnot, it will definitely evolve. I think it will evolve and continue to change to a much more sustainable model. Um, I really feel like it comes down to different types of games and games like Cyball and whatnot that really pioneer different types of earning models and economies for the game to continue to sustain itself. And as the space grows as well, and I think like the whole ecosystem with guilds and scholars and players, and then we'll have different types of players, more retail players and whatnot that will come in as well. I think like the space will continue to grow and evolve in that capacity, and with that kind of growth, and as we have some sort of mass adoption within a lot of other parts of the world as well, the games have to continue to pivot and change. And if games don't pivot and change, like they will potentially collapse. And we've seen that, with a lot of other games, a lot of games have tried to come through and really hit the scene hard, but have not been able to find a sustainable model. So it's still really new. We're still pioneering into the space, and with Cyball as well, we have a lot of new updates and whatnot, and we're always looking to, I guess, fine tune and perfect our model that I feel like is continuing to has to continue to change with each level that we reach as well. And yeah, I feel like that's where play to earn will go.
Yeah, amen. I mean, the entire space is, realistically new. NFTs to play to earn to even crypto, despite it has a little bit more time than a lot of this, and blockchain, the whole space, whole Web3 ecosystem. So, can you tell me about a little bit about your founders and why you guys and how you met, and maybe why you guys came together to create Cyball in particular?
Yeah. So I touched upon it a little bit before, but so a lot of us founders, back in May or June of last year, we started to see, Axie Infinity move, and pretty much all of us were working at the same VC at the time. The initial, three or four of us who came up with the idea, and got together and discussed, the potential of the gaming scene and how it would really hit the whole crypto space quite hard. And we've witnessed that unfold over the last 12 months or so. So we got together. A lot of us were working at the VC at the time, and we discussed this. And we wanted to bring a sports or a football themed game to the space. A few of the, I guess, we do have a few founders who are more experienced in crypto as well. So we've got Tin, who, if you're familiar with DeFi, is a top 2 DGen on the DGen scoreboard. And then we've got Aaron, who used to be in a product manager at Animoca. And then we also have Long, who is the founder and CEO of Tomo Chain as well. And Tomo Chain is a layer 1 here in Vietnam. And it was, I guess we've got a good spread of knowledge and of people in the space that's the kind of the network that we initially tapped into before we made things happen quickly.
That's amazing. I love it when a plan comes together, when the right people meet each other and come together to create a dynamic project and product. So like, what I mean, I assume it was Cyball because you're all big soccer fans. Yes.
Mm. Yeah, no, that's it. That's exactly right. Like I could spend hours playing FIFA, and I have spent hours playing FIFA, and I think with the concept initially, we wanted to bring Football Manager to the space. We wanted to create a game that was more of like you manage your team and you construct your team and you fine tune your team, and that would have been the gameplay, controlling the team as opposed to being a turn based card game. But like we thought about the whole model. We thought about the gaming ecosystem and the whole guild and scholarship model, and there was a large infrastructure that was already set up, or I wouldn't say set up, but already existed because of Axie and because of the whole play to earn concept that Axie was introducing to the space. So we wanted to, I guess, be able to tap into that previous infrastructure that was already laid out there. And so we had to create a game that was like fun but still simple enough for people to continue to play it, and quickly learn it, as opposed to a game that it might be a little bit too complex and it won't be something that you can play for 1 to 2 hours like every day, and you won't be able to onboard as many users because there's way too much resistance. So we turned it into a turn-based card game, and that's where now you can collect your side blocks. You come in, you enter into key events, and you play tactic cards with these key events to tip the odds in your favor so you can score a goal as well. So yeah, that's I guess a little bit yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely trying to keep it simple to get well, maybe not simple, but easier to get more people in. I mean, the space is already confusing to a lot that aren't on the outside at first, It's it's like using the internet in the late 90s. It was very confusing to so many people. But eventually that ease it became just worldwide usability, and it's like second nature now, just logging on to the internet, going to check your email or wherever, YouTube, Google, wherever you may use. So
yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And crypto will get there at some stage as well. Probably in the near future, crypto will get there.
I think so too. And I really, really see gaming being an very important feature and aspect of this ecosystem. And games like Cyball are going to be the ones that are, really have the opportunity to recruit the new people, to be the reason why people want to come into crypto and come into NFTs and just start using the blockchain overall, or any blockchain that is. So good on you for being one of the early adopters. How long have you been in this space?
Myself, I've probably been involved since I'd probably say that I've been involved for quite a while, but I wasn't deep into the space until I'd say 2019 or 2020. Prior to that, everyone heard about, the whole crypto space. I heard it probably back in 2015, 16 or so. I should have looked into it much more, but I didn't at the time. I'd kind of dabbled in Bitcoin here and there because, it was just to learn about it a little bit more, but then got, I guess, deeply involved and started properly investing in the space or into crypto back in 2019 and 2020.
Awesome. What got you into the space? What was the thing that attracted you?
No, there was just a lot of people talking about it at the time as well. And, I was in uni back in 2015, 16, towards the end of uni for me. And people were talking about it, it was making waves at the time as well. A few people here and there, but it wasn't mainstream completely yet. It was still just that initial concept. But yeah, so it was something worth looking into. It was interesting. I was into stocks and your traditional markets at the time. So it was just, I guess, something to diversify into as well, and looked into it a little bit. And yeah, I guess I should have looked into it further, but yeah, we're here now anyways.
Yeah, there's no changing the past. I wish I would have gotten involved a little earlier myself, and you can't believe how many people. Well, I'm sure you can actually. How many people we talk to that say that exact phrase? I should have looked into it a little bit deeper. Like,
Yeah, we're still early though. We're still early, so it's all
yeah,
good.
that's so true. It's still really just beginning. It's a very interesting time right now. So, you know, tell the audience and anybody who might be kind of interested, like why they should make the jump and come and check out Cyball.
Yeah, so Cyball itself, like I think what makes us unique is we have, we're a play-to-earn game, and conceptually it's very simple, and it doesn't seem like there's much depth to it. But play-to-earn gaming will continue to exist for a long time because it creates a great opportunity for a lot of these very poor micro economies around the world, within Vietnam or India or the Philippines, and we've seen it's continue to be such a successful model. So for Cyball itself, as a team, we're going to continue to pioneer how we will continue to last as a game. And the longer that we last and the longer that we continue to survive and thrive, there will be more and more depth, leading into the game. And with any project that we've seen within crypto that continues to survive and thrive, through the toughest market conditions as we're seeing right now as well. I think it's been a very brutal weekend for Bitcoin. We're back at 33.5, I think. But as we continue to survive and thrive, the game model will evolve, and I think it's going to be an interesting one to continue to watch our narrative and our story unfold as we bring more and more value to the communities around us and the communities that continue to support us. So I'd love to invite everyone, to give it a shot and come and join us and watch this story unfold as we evolve as well. So yeah, come and give it a shot. It's a pretty fun game. We've got I guess custom rooms coming up as well. So you can hop into a room, you can match up with one of your friends and smash them in Cyball.
Oh, nice. Were you guys building stadiums too? Wasn't that part of the roadmap?
Yeah, definitely. Stadiums is like kind of like the real estate in Cyball. I know that people love their like sandbox real estate or their Axie lands and whatnot. So we've got stadiums coming up that should be. It's been a very attractive feature. A lot of guilds and I guess a lot of our other partners are looking to acquire a lot of them. Where I guess controlling the distribution a little bit differently. We're not going to just throw it out there and give it to everyone. We're not really going to dilute the value of our stadiums out. It's going to be a very scarce kind of NFT within our ecosystem that, as a stadium owner, you can kind of adjust it to whatever aesthetic that you want to create for your stadium. You can put your own banners in there and whatnot, your own advertising. And there's also, I guess, some yield as a stadium owner. When people come into your matches and whatnot, they'll be able to gain some of those yield from the matches as well. So there's plenty of things to come for us.
Yeah, that's exciting. I love that concept so much. Like that concept alone makes me want to get in and like become better and play better, just to I don't know, figure out how I can participate in either owning or being on I assume each stadium will have like their kind of home team. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So like there's like, as a stadium owner, you can select or pick which key events will occur more often than others. So you can kind of tilt I wouldn't say the odds, but kind of like tilt the dynamics or the conditions of your stadium to be geared to a certain style of team. And obviously, if you create your team to be stronger in shooting or dribbling or crossing, then you'll obviously win more often within that stadium. And I think that's going to add a great dynamic to the whole ecosystem, because there will be certain stadiums that have different types of key events that occur as opposed to other stadiums. And when you enter into a match and you pop up into, let's say, a Yunit stadium, you might know that Yunit is known for shooting and dribbling. And if you've got a shooting and dribbling team, you're more likely to win. So yeah, I think that's going to be another, I guess, strategy or tactic that people will have to consider for future as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love, I'm very much a tactical and like strategic thinker and person. So I love that aspect of Cyball personally. Can you tell us more about like maybe the various types of tactics and strategies, players, current players, or even new players like myself may want to consider?
Yeah, yeah. So there's, I guess, a couple of different pillars that affect the dynamic or the outcome um, or the result of a match. So as you enter into the match, first of all, you need to consider your team. So there's the different classes of side blocks that you might want to consider, from bronze all the way to legendary, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and legendary. And then there's, the traits of your side blocks as well. Some traits are really OP. There's common, rare, or super rare type of traits. Obviously, each with their own ranging abilities. And these traits may also heavily influence, the outcome of the match. For example, one of the traits might be Ditto. Ditto is a super rare trait, and what it does is it copies one of your teammates' side blocks in a key event. It copies the highest skill or the highest skill rating or of your teammate in that key event. Sorry, and then there's also as you enter into the match, you have to select your strategy. So there's a couple of types of different strategies. There's ultra defensive, balanced, offensive, and then ultra offensive as well. So depending on which strategy you select, it makes your goalkeeper a little bit stronger or a little bit weaker, and it makes your ability to score goals a little bit higher or a little bit less. Obviously, if you select ultra offensive, your ability to score goals in a key event is a little bit higher, but if your opponent is stronger in that key event, then your defense will be quite weak, or your goalie won't be as strong to defend the shot. And then once you're in the match, you can select you select your side blocks depending on what the key event is. It's also good to know your opponent's side blocks and their traits as well. So you have the capacity to hover over your opponent's side blocks and read their traits, and know which traits you're up against to, I guess, better make decisions within each of these key events. So as you enter into a key event, you can select your side blocks, and then you can also choose a tactic card. So the tactic cards are cards that you can play to boost or nerf your team in that key event, or nerf your opponent in that key event. So I guess those are the key pieces there in terms of strategy or things you need to think about to win a match. And then in future, there will be a lot more moving pieces, like the different types of stadiums, and then we'll also introduce more tactic cards in the future, some limited edition tactic cards and whatnot. So yeah, those are a few of the things that you would consider, as a new player. Those are kind of the basics, but I'm sure Unit's got it covered. You guys have an extensive academy program for Cyball.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I'm fairly new to Unit as a agency, so I'm just beginning to kind of get involved and learn all the different aspects of what we are doing. I'm going to repeat that really quick. Sorry, my cat hopped on my table. So, I'm just getting involved in. I'm just getting involved in Unit. I was just hired recently and just beginning to explore their ecosystem as a guild and understanding everything that they're doing. And I'm really interested in Cyball. It just with moving, I hadn't been able to touch it yet, but we're in pretty good shape around my home. So this week I'm going to have some time to dig in and begin to play. And so, for anybody that might be interested, how can they get started? Where do they go, and how could they possibly get involved in the community? What's that best aspect?
Yeah. So like we have quite a large community. I think like of 85,000 people in our Discord. So if anyone wants to come hang out with us, a lot of us hang out in the Discord a lot of the time as well. So pop into our Discord. We've always got something running. Usually we run like Kahoot or Gartic nights once or twice a week. So that's a good starting point, I guess, if you want to come and meet the team and meet a lot of our community members who are loving Cyball at the moment. Also follow us on Twitter as well. That's where we have a lot of our major announcements. And yeah, that's kind of how you would follow our community. If you want to get started in Cyball, I know that there's a lot of guilds that are continuing to recruit scholars and players within their guilds. Unit being one of them, and a lot of these other large guilds. So I think that's a good starting point, for anyone who wants to play Cyball. Or otherwise, if you want to go onto our marketplace and purchase the Cyblock NFTs themselves, and then jump straight into the game, that's how I would get started.
That's probably the way I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna like just jump in and dig in, and then like go check out the community. And I remember seeing there were like some videos, right? Like there people play live. I mean, do you have any like streamers? Anybody play on Twitch or anything?
Yeah. There's quite a few people already creating content out there for Cyball, so I'm sure if you search it up, it'll pop up. But within our community itself, we have like we select community members to stream either once or twice a week. So we've always got some sort of streaming going on. And then I know in a lot of the other guild communities like Players Guild and YGG, they do weekly streams, or I think Players Guild do more than weekly streams. It's almost daily. So I'm sure there's plenty more out there. That's all I know off the top of my head. But yeah, there's plenty of streams of Cyball going around.
That's awesome. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen a few actually. I don't watch a lot of Twitch in general, but it was fun. And I love what you guys are doing. And I really feel like everybody, your team, from my research, you guys all have the right heads on your shoulders and are definitely moving in the right direction for the right reasons, which is always the most important. It's not just here for a money grab. You're here for the longer term and really want to be a big part of the growing ecosystem. And as you stated earlier, like, help out those the micronations, the various nations around the world that maybe this economy can help the country grow and help the people of the country grow financially. So really good on you guys.
Yeah, appreciate the kind words, Craig.
Of course, Benji, of course. So, sir, we're pretty close to the end here. You have any last closing thoughts or anything you want to put out there?
Yeah, I'm not too sure when this episode will go live, but I guess just a little update from our end as well. Like, we have Cyball Reborn coming out at the end of this month. So we're kind of at the start of May right now. At the end of May, we will have Cyball Reborn coming out. It's like a complete revamp of our UX and UI. It really takes us to a new level. The arts look incredible. And then we have plenty of features coming the next month and the month after as well. So there's plenty on the roadmap. There's our 5v5 mode coming out, custom rooms coming out, stadiums coming out quite soon as well. So really looking forward to, I guess, that next phase for Cyball. Oh, and we do have our governance token launching quite soon. That should be coming out, I guess, in Q3 of this year. So in a couple months' time. That's one thing about us. We've launched the game. We've launched. We've pushed our community to grow, but we haven't launched a token. We haven't launched a governance token, which is really unusual because most projects, usually launch a token first and then they start building and building around that, and then you watch the token go up and down as they continue to build. But we started building first, and I think it's almost a year now, almost a year, and we still don't have a token out, which a lot of people would say, that's really insane and really absurd. But yeah, I feel like this is the right way. It's slow and steady is the right way, and we're not. It's as you said, it's not a cash grab. We're here to build something nice and strong. to continue to last, over the next couple of years and whatnot, and continue to create opportunity for people as well. So, our governance token is coming out quite soon as well. So keep an eye out for that.
That is by far like one of the things that really stuck out to me about Cyball is the fact that you had no token yet. And it really just showed me that, it's not like you're not here for a cash grab. You're here to build for the long haul. And slow and steady. This is a space right now, whether it's crypto or NFTs or even any of the games that exist, like some of the top games, or any of the top crypto, top NFTs, top anything really in a year may not be here anymore. So I think really building for the long haul is smart. And understanding how to survive, periods like this, like you said earlier, Bitcoin had a rough weekend, and the NFT space is, volatile as always. So we don't know. There's going to be another like giant winter, and the media is going to come down on the space and say, "See, it's all over. It's a scam." But then everything's going to rise, and much like the .com era, the .com crash in the early 2000s, eBay and Amazon survived that. And so I think Cyball is putting itself in a position where you have the opportunity to survive it too, should it come. I mean, who knows? I might be wrong. It may not come, but...
That's exactly right. But we do our best to, make sure that, as you said, to survive. And it's usually the ones that come out on the other side that then thrive. And I'm sure the next bull run that we see, it'll be one of the biggest, we've ever seen in the space in terms of adoption. And it might be the one run that really cements crypto in the world. If to say it hasn't already been cemented as an asset class in the world. But I think the next run that we see, it'll be incredibly huge, the biggest one we'll ever see. And we want to be prepared to take part in that.
Yeah, that's smart strategy. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It sounds like you might have a cold or something. So if you do, please get better. Take care of yourself out there. And I really appreciate your time. And once again, everybody, this has been the Yunit podcast. Please go check us out at Yunit.io if you want to get involved in some play to earn, and that's Yunit, YUNIT. So please come get involved. And for all of you out there that may have heard me before, if you know what I'm about to say, please say it with me. Be a nice human. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time. Appreciate you, and we'll check you next time.